Yeah, good day, YouTubers. It's been a while since I last did a video upload to YouTube, but yeah, this video today is about another modification I did, this time regarding Ibike Pannier rack. What I did it for is I'm planning to do a few like long distance trails. The ones I'm thinking about is like rail trails down to Victoria. They're quite long, so I'll have a need to carry my battery charger and power supply, and a few warm clothes and a few odds and ends like toothbrush, toothpaste, sun cream, all that kind of jazz, But because then I can stay in a caravan park halfway through the ride, recharge my bike, and then go again, But even though this bike is good for on a flat ground, you do 100 k's, but some of the rides are over that. They're 135, around about that. So you do need to be prepared a little bit when you do those sort of rides. And then I'll just show you about the pannier. So this pannier here is their actual, they call it a PakRak clip-on system pannier. It's a decent quality. It's worth about $80, but it's aluminium. It's probably I'm guessing a T 6061 aluminium or T705. It's a high-end, fully welded frame with the sides here. And just to show you the model number if everyone's interested, because this was a bit of a challenge to fit this on a full suspension mountain bike. They're always designed for a solid end mountain bike, like a hardtail. But yeah, overcome it. And that's the actual instructions I was using. The PakRak carrier, and the one I used was a Ibera model number, and it's actually for a bike without disc brakes, which was actually better for mine. If you get the ones with disc brakes, this part here is actually like bent like a horseshoe before it goes in. It might be another side or this side, I'm not sure, but I didn't need that. I knew that frame would take this rack pretty well. It wasn't easy. Like I said, that's a full suspension mountain bike with a rack on it, and so I had obviously a point of attachment here, which is part of the top end of the dropouts. I use the same 4mm stainless steel nut and bolt as the support for my rear mudguard, and I made some. These are galvanized, solid galvanized rods, round rods, and they're 6.3mm thick in diameter. And what I've done is that's what I've used there. Galvanized steel round bar, 6.3 by 1 meter. You'll need probably 2 of those, and passed it through the same fixings what I use normally, and I've bent it down the same shape as my mudguard, so it's fairly contoured to the wheel. And when I've got down to here, I've actually used these the switchboard lugs on the Sparky, mate. They're 35mm squared by 8mm with an 8mm hole, and they're a little bit bigger for this. I could have used the next size down, but I like these because I already had the 8mm drilled out and had enough meat on the part to attach it to the rear shock at the bottom of the rear bracket. But virtually what I've done is I've got the rod, and all this stuff I've done to my bike, it's all been done with hand tools, no fancy equipment. And I've used a hammer in the back of the vise and flattened out the round bar to a flat surface so I could pass a 3mm nut and bolt through it. So I've done that, and I've put it into the lug, and I've actually flattened this lug out and put a 3mm nut and bolt there. So I've done that on both sides. And before I go too much further, Like that was the actual original 8mm nut and bolt for the bottom mount of the shock, and obviously I needed more meat to bolt these lugs down. So instead of using that, I had some 8mm stainless steel threaded rod, and I've passed through the whole thing and put a lock nut on, lock the shock in obviously as I normally would with, you know, spring washers and lock nuts and washers and that. And then I have enough meat now because that's 75mm long, that threaded rod, to put another lock nut and to attach these off. So yeah, so I'm pretty happy with it. I'll just show you with the bag on. Yeah, just a quick correction. I called it an IPAC, but it's actually called an Ibera PakRak, and I've got the actual card. I found the card. It's an Ibera carrier. There we go. With heavy on top and side loads, fits most 26, 29 frames, and that is the number there that I used, Ibera4, and like I said, it was for non-disc brakes. So that's just cleared that up. It's not. It's actually it's called on Ibera. I think that's how you pronounce it. So that's the rack. Yeah. So the it's actually called a Cool Change Pannier backpack. It's an expandable one, which is exactly what I wanted. So I'll show you that side. The pockets look like that, and then you can unzip these, and then it expands down. So if you want it bigger, like this is one I prepared earlier, if you like. So I've unzipped it and it drops down. So you've got a bit of storage there, which I'll probably throw my charger on that side and power supply in that one when I drop it down. And then you've got your little back little thing here. You've got a bit of room there, and actually also as you open that up, there's another zipper down here, like that, and that expands it a bit further again. So that's a pretty good pack. Like it's a copy of something else. I think it cost me around about $60 Australian through AliExpress, but it's just called a Cool Change. It's like an expandable luggage Pannier pack, and you get it in like different colours, and yeah, so it works quite good. I'll just show you the challenge I was up against. Because this is a full suspension mountain bike, I had to secure it in a way that you couldn't secure it to the seat base because it wouldn't work. If you put the bar straight to the seat post, like most conventional Pannier packs, Pannier racks, it wouldn't work. It would just crush the bars because the swing arm will articulate, and the bars would stop it from doing that. So I'll just show you how it works with the setup. So I actually mounted that rack so it actually angles back, but when I sit on it and get the weight on it when I start pedaling, it should level out, and you can see how that's a fair bit of weight, and because I'm going on a flat ground, I don't think it'll matter. Like the seat does come close to this, the bag does come close to the seat, but that's a lot of force to get down that far. So I think it'll be fine, especially on a rail trail where it's flat ground, not many bumpy surfaces, but yeah, I think it'll be quite fine. So I'm just showing you as of now, because obviously the 6mm galvanised rods stand out, because what I'm going to do, like I did here, is it's the same. It's virtually the same rod, but this is aluminium, and so once I've finished it completely, then I'll wrap it from here all the way up to there with some black heat shrink, and it'll look exactly like that, and it really blends in and hides the the front, the support framework for it. So I'll show you when I'm finished, and you'll see how clean it should look. And yeah, just a quick shot there of both panniers open and the top compartment expanded. I mean, it's quite a lot of room there for a small little bag, you know. So I'm quite proud of that. It's quite a good buy. It wasn't too expensive. There's really expensive ones out there, but that was like $60 to $70. I don't know exactly, but around about that, yeah. So yeah, the whole thing blends in pretty nice. Like obviously, it's just like I said before. It's just for the long rides, and then you have your it's big enough to have, easily big enough to have my battery charger in there and a power supply above it, and odds and ends in there, and you've got a whole section there. And I might even just put my sleeping bag there, and that's pretty much all I need for like a 3 or 4 day trip. So yeah, I think it come out quite good for that situation. So yeah. Okay, guys, all the support brackets that I custom made up, they're all wrapped in black heat shrink now. So I had one size heat shrink for this part down to there, and then a bigger heat shrink for the actual electrical lug, 35 by 8mm electrical lug. But you can see how clean that looks now. I think it blends in quite nice, and like this, don't think I'm going to run with this rack on the whole time. It's just there on endurance rides, like anything larger than my battery, then I need to bring it to so I can recharge my battery. But anything over 100 k's really. But there's a few rides down in Victoria which I'll need it, so I made it up, and obviously once I do the really big rides, then I'll take it off and then use it without it. Of course, there's like four bolts. There's an 8mm where the lugs are, which attaches to the end of the thread rod. So 2 of those. So two 8mm lock nuts, and then 2 4mm lock nuts one on each side, and the rack's off. So it's pretty quick. Looks quite good. And you got the bars going over like that, which are pretty clean. I'm pretty happy with it. So anyone looking to do a few endurance rides and build like this sort of fashion, well, there's another mod that I've done that works, and works well. It's pretty stable. Well, that's not going anywhere, you know what I mean? And I didn't use aluminium. I was thinking about it, and I thought, oh, it's too soft. That would flex too much. So I used 6mm galvanised rod. Yeah, 6.2 I think it was. But yeah, so I'm pretty happy with it, and it'll go really good on my long distance endurance rides. Yeah. Alright guys, well, hope it helps anyone that wants to do that sort of setup, but I'll be using it a lot, especially going on those long distance rail trails. They'll be really good, and then I'll take it off when I'm finished all them, and ride it as a normal bike in between, so get best of both worlds really. So, alright guys, well, until next time, catches, bye.